it messes with your appetite, it messes with things after your appetite. It's just, yeah. Ready? Cinema Classics is produced and hosted by John DeSando. Listen to shows Thursdays at 8:01 p.m. on WCBE 90.5 FM. And listen to shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
And I'm Kevin Carr.
And this is Cinema Classics. And Kev, I'm saying it only twice.
Okay.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Because you know what happens if we do it 3 times. Michael Keaton will come barging in our door.
Well, wouldn't that be good for the show?
It was just, we wouldn't have anything to do with the show. He would take over.
Oh, it would be over. Yeah, it would be out. So maybe you would just say you're John DeSando.
Yeah, right. Yes, right. Yeah. So anyway, it's the sequel to the first one, which must have been
36 years before, yeah, 1988.
Yeah, and appropriate for Cinema Classics, because I think Beetlejuice, the original, is a classic.
Oh, sure.
You know,
yeah.
You ask people about certain movies, and they have an idea even of what you're talking about, even
Yeah.
if they haven't seen it.
Well, and I guess one of the things you can really say, if something is a classic, it has an indelible effect
Yeah.
on pop culture and society.
Yes, right.
And I was pointing this out to my son because we were decorating for Halloween, because we decorate early, because that's the way I am. And he was playing a playlist, and he was playing Deo, and Jumpin' the Line, this Harry Belafonte music, and they're showing up in the Halloween playlist. I said, there's nothing Halloween about those songs. But they are associated with Halloween.
Yes.
Specifically because of Beetlejuice.
Oh, yeah.
And Tim Burton.
And who, I finally have a real context for MacArthur Park.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Burton is so brilliant. Imagine drawing that in and making it real. And I think that he even has...
It's a beautiful sequence when they use it. I mean, it's amazing how they put it together.
Yeah, you know, who would have thought MacArthur Park? I thought it was just a song, and I tried to figure out what it's about. It's clearly a reverie on the part of the of whoever wrote it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, if you try to parse it, you can. But otherwise, it sounds like a stream of consciousness.
Well, yeah, and it's again, I don't know if that's going to be remembered the way like Deo is.
No,
or
right.
The Calypso music from the first one, because that's so ingrained into the story. But you're right, it is taking this really out there idea and putting it into rather organically this insane movie.
Yes.
Which works. And that's one of the things, the fact that part of the reason this works is because they bring back so many people. And including the director, Tim Burton, but also the actors, except for the one who's a child predator. So that they kind of...
Yeah.
They found creative ways to deal with his character. That was Jeffrey Jones, who played the dad.
Okay. Yeah, and think about it. I haven't seen Winona Ryder in so long.
Yeah, I mean, she's done some things. I mean, Stranger Things.
Yeah, right, that's true. I don't watch you, but that's right, she is. Yeah.
That she had a bit of a resurgence there.
Yeah.
Which is weird because she's an 80s star.
Yeah.
And it's a movie about nostalgia for the 80s, or the show is about nostalgia.
Yeah. And I thought she was credible. Yeah, she was a little bit saner this time, as I remember.
She wasn't a teenager, so she settled, I guess.
No, right. But the teen I like is this new Jenna Ortega, who apparently on Wednesday, has been
another big Netflix series, yeah.
Yeah, and boy, I think she was outstanding. I was very impressed.
She has blown up, and it's so funny because when they announce, every now and then you get these casting announcements, and you're like, how is that person going to fit in? And they're like, oh, Jenna Ortega is going to be in this new Tim Burton movie that's a sequel. Like, well, that just makes sense.
And she is the daughter in the movie.
Yeah, Winona Ryder's character.
Okay, right, yeah.
Lydia.
Yeah. Whose husband died or something?
Her husband died, so her Astrid, which is Jenna Ortega's character, is dealing with the fact that she doesn't have her dad, and the whole thing is Lydia can see ghosts, but she never sees her dad, and that's one of the big sort of family sticking points.
Yeah.
And that's what's interesting about this movie is they don't just retread the first movie, which was smart, because part of the charm of the original movie was suddenly just getting these insane reveals of the way the netherworld works.
Right.
But in this one, it's really just kind of this off-kilter family drama
It is.
that deals with relatively real issues, but then they have to kind of throw Beetlejuice in there periodically to kind of remind you that it's an insane film.
What I love is that there's something more human about this one,
Oh.
particularly in Beetlejuice, coming from the afterlife, really wants to connect again with,
Yeah.
with Leah, I guess is
Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say his relationship with Lydia was healthy in the
No,
first
yeah.
movie, because she's a child and he's trying to marry her.
right, that's right, yeah.
But you're right. There's this weird. I don't want this person back in my life, but there's a connection there.
Well, she needs him
Yeah.
to get her husband, or
Well, to get Astrid, who
Astrid.
ends up.
So she's stuck down in the afterlife, and
Yeah, Astrid ends up there, and so she has to get Beetlejuice to bring
yes,
her down.
that's right, yeah. So there's some logic to this for people who think it's all just zany.
No,
There
you're
is-
right. It follows its
It
rules.
really does, yeah. And you got this new young guy who's the object of Astrid's affection.
Yeah.
And,
he's been in stuff. I can't remember what I've seen. I've seen him in stuff.
well, I was happy to see him rather than Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who is
Yeah.
coming out.
Oh yeah, no, you can't get rid of Timothy Chalamet.
No.
He's like a cockroach.
Right, he's going to be playing Dylan.
Yeah.
I'm Dylan.
And I'm sure he's great. I'm so tired. He's just
Well,
so
they were so in love with him a few years ago. He was in everything.
still now. I
I
mean.
know, yeah.
I'm. He's good, but I'm like, come on, you don't have to cast him and everything.
Yeah, right, yeah. So Keaton in
Mhm.
Beetlejuice, what do you think he brings to it? I mean, he's the weight in the center of all of this.
Well, it's very clear when you go back to the original Beetlejuice that it was worked around him as a comedian. Because people forget, back in 1988 when that came out, he was a comedy actor. He was not doing
That's right.
dramatic. Yeah, he had Clean and Sober and that kind of
Right.
stuff, which is, everyone's trying to do their breakout role. But he was not known as a dramatic guy. He was not known as intense. You know, Batman kind of really gave him an
What
intensity.
Batman did it for him.
Yeah, and it let him break out of just the crazy, goofy,
Wow.
you know,
yeah.
night shift
Yeah.
kind of role. But this was him leaning into his comedy, and his very similar to like Robin Williams as the genie in the Aladdin movies. How do you recap? I mean, they did, but how do you recapture that? He was so tied to it, and Beetlejuice, you couldn't hand it off to anybody else
Right.
because it's Keaton doing his thing. And now here we are looking at it, you know, 30 some years later, an Oscar win later, and all that kind of stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, I guess this is what he was known for
Yeah.
back in the 80s.
And I think his makeup alone is worth mentioning. I mean,
Oh yeah.
he looks like a cadaver.
Well, he looks
black
very
eyes.
similar to how he looked in the last one.
I know, yeah. Wearing this iconic striped
Yeah.
suit that apparently people are buying. They're knockoffs of this out there. This guy.
Well, yeah, because of and what's funny is I think that's because of the Beetlejuice Broadway show. That I went my screening as much as I appreciated their passion, I was very close to a big group of theater kids that
Yeah.
obviously were fans of the show,
Yeah.
and that was a little annoying.
Yeah, boy, it would be.
But they were dressed.
Yeah. So we have people out there who are kind of interested now. I mean, I believe that there are many people who say Beetlejuice, no, they have an image of Keaton and they think that it's complete nonsense.
Yeah.
So what do we tell them about why Beetlejuice might be worth seeing?
Well, I think the biggest thing is it's not just retreading the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's a certain amount of fan service to this.
Yeah.
But it's authentically trying to do a new story, and it's got so many people back, it feels like it's really hard to strike that tone decades later, and I think they managed to, which is fantastic.
But one of the images besides him that I love is the one of Delia.
The mother, yeah, Delia, Catherine O'Hara.
Splicing
brilliant.
herself together.
No,
No,
that's
Monica.
Monica Bellucci.
Bellucci, yes, playing Dolores.
Dolores, yeah, his is X.
There are parts of her in boxes
Uh-huh.
in this storage place, and she starts putting herself together with a staple gun.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Well, that's what's interesting about this movie. You have these multiple roles. I wouldn't say there's one bad guy or any, there's a bunch of little like
right.
vignettes of
Yes.
characters that they're dealing with. So, because it's more about weirdly about the relationship with Beetlejuice and the livings.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I'll take Monica Bellucci anytime. Whatever part you want to
She
hear.
was great. Well, you know, the human part of this, the center of this, is Lydia trying to get Astrid back.
Yeah.
And is typical mom-daughter.
Well, and yeah, she does channel what she used in Stranger Things.
Okay, yeah.
You know, because she is sort of the mother in distress with a child dealing with some supernatural things. But I think that Beetlejuice was there was such truth she kind of brought to the character in the original one, and I think she taps into it in this one. I don't feel like she's grasping at all. I think Winona Ryder's very comfortably in that.
Oh, it is, and you know, I completely believed her TV celebrity psychic gig. It's so typical.
Yeah. No, there's a couple shows like that out there.
I know. I mean, you know, like people who trade on their fame,
Mm-hmm.
and I just thought, well, this is perfect, of course.
Oh, yeah.
With a character like that. So, Kev, we have people out there. This is the end of summer. The summer, I guess, is really gone, probably.
Yeah, we're past summer.
But I see it on the cusp of summer.
Yeah.
So they're still looking for a good movie. And yeah, is this one, do you think that you could bring your family, depending on the age of the kids?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's got all the scary imagery, but it's all done in jest.
Yes.
You know, I don't think there's any sort of real damaging stuff. So yeah, I think I don't want to call it a family film. It is PG-13.
Yeah.
But
Isn't that amazing?
yeah, how they work around a couple things.
Whoa, yeah. So it does have family aspects to it, and if people are interested at all in film history, they can put together the first Beetlejuice with this, or they can see it without the first Beetlejuice.
Yeah, and the original Beetlejuice is on Max right now,
Okay,
so you can easily access it.
So that makes a kind of nice treatment, the kind of thing you do with your kids.
Oh yeah.
You know, you just plan them down and you give them the history.
Yeah. No, they have to watch it all.
I know they do, I know. All right, the movie is Beetlejuice.
Mm-hmm.
And do not say that 3 times,
Yeah.
or you will be played by Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice.
Well, you just said it. What? I don't know the rules.